Good morning, it's Michelle from Movement Lesson. I wanted to take this time to regroup and talk to you about my channel, but really what's more important is that you're here because you want to help your child. The number one way to help your child is with movement. It's just that simple. People don't realize that movement or your child's development is with movement. They don't come out talking and walking and doing all these things or going into what we consume our cognitive skills without foundational movements. These foundational movements are necessary to bring them into their life. Most kids are walking, cruising, that kind of thing by the time they are talking. Now I'm talking about talking. Mommy, daddy will start to show up around 8 months of age. But I also want to talk about the misconception of the wait and see. Movement lesson isn't about, or anybody is not about looking to diagnose your child. That's not how this works. It's not that your child develops or they have a diagnosis. Some kids just slip through the cracks. Most kids don't realize, or parents don't realize, 1 in 6 children are in special services. And now, thanks to COVID and lockdowns and so forth that's going on, even more children are in an area that they're not getting help. So that's why here we've cranked it up to do more of a home program. Obviously, we as well have clinic settings, and we have practitioners around the world. Every day there's a new practitioner, but at the same time, you might not be able to get them to there because of your location. Again, for health concerns, all of those are valid, but at the same time, your child needs attention. And attention is different than, in a sense, help. So yes, I'm here to help you, but at the same time, give you and your child the attention you deserve. So first of all, what do I have to do for you? I wouldn't say take away your worries. That would be wonderful, but at the same time, I find that you worry when you don't have actions or you don't know what to do, right? What am I going to do? And Movement Lesson is here to start working with you on how to give you a plan of action. So one of the things I'm about to start next week is a 5 points on how to have a successful home program, but it talks you through on how to have a plan of action. It's a free webinar. I'd love to have you join my group. My group is Facebook, Movement Lesson for Parents and Practitioners. In there, we have about 5,000 members who are active about, again, getting the attention to help their family, right? And we have our professionals there. We have people that come in. But I really want to address, again, the wait and see. So now let's look at movement like money, right? Everybody knows money. Everybody likes money. Well, money's like movement. The more money you have, the more things you can do, right? Right? That's the premises. I don't have problems when I have money to save it, but what it is that it's not that money makes you happy, but you have money to give you opportunities. So if I decide I want to go to Bora Bora, I have the money to do it, right? That's just an example. Most of us aren't going to Bora Bora, but just still, right? Money is the example. So we put money, we hope, in the bank, or we invest in this money, and we get this compounded interest where our savings grows. And then we decide from the savings what we're going to do with that. Movement is very similar, right? The more ways I can move, the more things I can do. I don't sit there and go, I'm old, I can't do anything, right? I'm vibrant. I'm my age. I'm 56, but I can do things, right? I know I'm capable. You never see me get tired. You don't see that because, again, I practice what I preach. I have Movement Lesson, right? So I can do those things. Well, we want the same for your babies. So when babies start out, there are certain movements that need to be established, right? They are weight transfer and rotation. It's the establishment of these movements, right? Most people think that the brain, right, is going to dictate what the body can do. Yes and no, right? With babies, they don't have judgment. So if you can catch that period of discrepancies, what a baby does, though, is they either progress, right, or they deviate, right? Some people look at that as regression, but again, it's a deviation. So if they go to reach out for that toy, they can't do it because of their vision, or they can't do it because their foot is contracted. Whatever is the stress of that, they're not going to keep trying to do it. They're babies. They're not going to go, oh, I should have been rolling over 3 weeks ago. So what I want to take out of that equation is for you to be able to catch those little things that are going to start to deviate. Look at that as, again, like construction. We have to go through construction. We want to make the road a better place, but and there might be a detour, right? Those are obvious. You have to go here, and it might be an inconvenience. But I don't want your baby to be inconvenienced when they're 5, having reading difficulties, right? Because they weren't able to roll over, go into a crawl properly. And so this whole big, oh, but they're sweet babies and they'll figure it out. They might. And I was in a situation where they didn't. You know, at 4, my son's goal was to say mom. Now, after a heck of a lot of work, you know, he's a senior in high school and he's on the National Honor Society and he's on student council, right? He likes to serve just like I do. You know, it's sort of a family trait. But at the same time, he's had 26 surgeries. He went to Foundation for Blind. He was legally blind when he was in preschool. He was fully self-contained. You know, he was off school services by the age of 4. That's a lot of stress, struggle, unanswered questions, therapies, people involved in our lives to help, right? And if I can find a way to help your child from a day old or 3 months of age, that's all Movement Lesson is about. We're not here to find fault. And some people do, again. They know right off the bat that there has been trauma or there's genetics involved that it's going to affect their child's future. But their future is based off of movement. It's clear, you know, I get it that the genetics involved. I get it that there's deviations. There might even be, you know, trauma to the brain. It's still based off of movement. The greatest gift you can give your child is movement. So I would like you to start sticking with me. Look for these lives. I have probably I think it's the largest library out there of working with the human body of any age, right? I focus on children because that's, you know, that's the main thing that people come to me for. But my oldest child is 95. So I work with everybody. I work with sports. I work with athletes. I work with, you know, musicians. I've got this wonderful oboe player I'm working with at the moment. And so there's all sorts of things that, again, when can you do something better? With movement. You might be smarter. Smart comes after the movement. The movement comes first. So if you're trying to do that Kumon, you know, but your child's having problems with that sitting and being able to look up at the board and coming back to their paper, that's the movement that you need. That's not pay attention, right? So just take a step back and look at where we can add movement in. Right? It's like adding fiber into your diet. Where can we add movement in? And so start looking at these lives, and we're starting to work on different playlists. If you have any suggestions on again organizing it, because YouTube still has one of the best search engines out there as far as that, but I'd like to tailor this a bit more. If you really need the support that you deserve, please, Facebook for Movement Lesson for Parents and Practitioners, movementlesson.academy is my site. There's plenty of courses from how to help your child with rolling over, with patching. If you're new to vision, there's vision in your child. We have scoliosis courses and going into training, learning how to work with CVI and some of the more advanced visual diagnoses. There's a wealth of information. Movement Lesson is going into Russian. We're translating there. Anything that I can do to help you, by all means, please. I wish you could leave your comments. I'm hoping to get that changed shortly. But Movement Lesson is about, again, supplementing and stimulating your child with a movement vocabulary that they really need to have for anything they do in life. So if you want to throw that football or you want to have someone playing for the Packers and he's only 3 months old, this is where you need to be, right? Every child is special. And we look at movement difficulties when a child is a special, but at the same time, again, every child and you deserve movement, and that's what Movement Lesson is about. I hope you have a great day. Thanks, guys. Sorry, trying to turn this off.